All right, welcome back. This weekend marks 2 years since the Christmas morning bombing in Nashville, where a man went down there in an RV loaded with bombing material and blew it up. Darla Brown lived down there, and she lost her place that morning. And Darla is kind enough to join us on the phone in our Newsmaker segment. Darla, it's a day you'll never forget clearly, but fortunately you weren't in your apartment when that bomb went off.
Correct. I was at my sister's house here in Columbia.
Tell everyone how you found out that you had lost your home.
I received a text from a coworker that morning, and I just thought it was a Merry Christmas text.
Yeah.
So when I looked at my phone, he said, "Were you at your apartment when the bomb or when the explosion happened?" Because I heard it from my apartment, and he lived over in Weston. And so that's how I found out. I tried looking at my cameras in my apartment. Of course, I just said, "Oh, they're offline. We must have lost electricity." And we began to then search the internet to find out what was going on.
Yeah.
And that's how I found out.
So you lost everything, I assume. Did you ever get back into the apartment to at least maybe search for any keepsakes?
About 2 weeks after the bombing, I was able to go to the apartment, thanks to the charities and search and rescue team. And they said you can only go in with us and carry out what you can, and take what you can carry out.
Yeah.
So a friend of mine went, we had about 15 minutes to take whatever we can carry out, and that was it.
And that was it. Would you ever move back down there?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I do miss the atmosphere of being able to walk up my apartment and have access to a plethora of entertainment, restaurants, so forth. But I think there's too many memories.
Yeah.
And even though I wasn't there on site, there's still trauma attached to it, you know, and which is why I get out of town every Christmas.
I was thinking about that. There is trauma attached to it, and I imagine here 2 years later, it kind of revisits you.
It does. There are moments that hit me that I'm not thinking about it, and all of a sudden I'll have a memory or think of something that I don't have anymore that I wish I had, you know, or when I'm at a Sounds game or a football game and the fireworks go off.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, that triggers. Even though I wasn't there, I have a trigger. Yep.
Darla, I think most of us, or many of us, kind of forget or lose sight of how many people actually had their lives turned upside down that morning that bomb went off. And here we are 2 years later, and clearly you're still going through this.
Yeah, and for my friends that were there, they still have a lot of trauma, and I can't imagine what they are going through, being 2 years out. And
well,
anyway,
we'll all take a moment. We'll all take a moment. We'll think of you this Christmas, and we thank you for sharing your story here 2 years later, Darla. We wish you a Merry Christmas, and thank you for coming on.
You too. Merry Christmas.